When brands are thinking about first-party data, what does that even mean? How do we even do that right now, Jeff?
I mean, it's the shit that they're giving you, right? Customers giving you their data, their preferences. There's a really badass thing that Digio can do called mini quizzes. So it's not a fully baked out quiz as well. Like if you're driving somebody to a landing page, you can have a couple of tiles, like little icons, right? Categorize people down into specific PDPs and use that to drive more traffic to those different products or SKUs you're trying to sell.
Say that again. What? What?
Sorry, we have something called mini quizzes. So it's not a fully built out quiz. If anybody's on, go to andyswim.com.
A-N-N-I-E?
A-N-D-I-E.
A-N-D-Y-E.
I-E.
I-E.
Yeah, they make swimsuits. So on the front facing page, you'll scroll down and it'll say, what are you doing in your Andy? It's a small little selector with 5 different like circular buttons that will drive people into different PDP pages. That's a really good way to just gather first-party, zero-party data, whatever you want to call it, to segment those customers down in the pages that you want. I think what everybody's saying here, driving traffic to the site, then use small, simple tools that don't suck, because you don't have to take somebody through a big-ass quiz. You can make it super-duper small and gather that data. There's some stuff that we do to even anonymously append data before you get email addresses on that. It's a long-ass response I just gave.
No.
Happy to walk people through this, too, afterwards.
So I'm taking the fit quiz, is that correct?
Yeah, so if you're on the front-facing page...
None of this is going to fit me, by the way. None of this will fit me.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like you could probably pull it off, man.
I'm thick on the bottom.
It's like one-piece swimsuit.
You'll never know until you try it on.
Yeah, sure, dude.
And then put it on
12
Twitter.
questions?
Put it
That's
on
a
Twitter.
mini quiz?
So, no, this is on the front-facing page, on the very front page that you get to for Andy. Yeah, there's 5 little buttons. You'll see it.
Okay, I got
Yeah,
this.
find my fit. So you don't have to run people through these big quizzes to gather that data.
Would I run this to, and this would just drop me to random or different landing pages, is now that's 2 touch points.
Mm-hmm.
Am I collecting email before this, or is it just, hey, this is what you're looking for, here's where you're going?
It's up to you. Like, there's a way to anonymously append data to that profile without grabbing email. If they get to the cart level, give them 10% off after that first initial landing page with the mini quiz. It really depends on the brand and what you want the user experience to look like. And that's not a great answer, but...
But I wanted to piggyback on that too, because this is a great way of executing stuff that people have been doing for decades and decades. Like, if you want to know...
Decades and decades?
Sure.
I think the industry has been around for like a couple, only like one.
This exists well before digital marketing. Like, do you know what your customers buy, right? Like, and the thing was, especially if you're coming into Black Friday and you're trying to understand like what you're gonna do, like, this is one thing to do a post-transaction survey, great. I understand the people that are willing to take a survey after the people that bought, okay. But of the people that buy, like what's the second thing they buy? What's the third thing they buy? What's the cash flow cycle? How long does it take from one purchase to another? And like if you're running media or you're running a business and you don't know how long it's gonna take somebody to take one purchase and get to the second, when that future cash flow is gonna happen, what that customer journey looks like, then you don't understand what type of customer to target to best acquire revenue. If you're trying to grow your business, making money should be something that you're good at. And like, even if you don't have this stuff, believe me, you should probably be doing this stuff. If you want to get like into Excel nerdery, you can go into like new customer returning purchases and just break it down as like what day did those things happen, what are all those products that people are buying, and you can understand what the average customer wants and what they need, which is gonna help you put together great bundles for Black Friday. Like at Under Outfit, I mean, you brought up 310 Nutrition, which we did great stuff. One of the things we did over the last year or whatever to go from like 50K a month to a couple million a week is like,
Incredible job, Charley.
Just saying, this is something we did to get us there. Thank you. Not the first time, won't be the last. The point of that is, though, one of the things, the biggest thing we understood from that, based on a similar data you can get from first party or from surveys, and it would have been a lot easier had we probably done that, is we knew that like a woman over the age of 35, a woman over the age of 55 is gonna come back and buy 3-4 bras. And she's gonna come back maybe 6 months later and make that same purchase. So we know the AOV, or the ROAS or whatever, but we also know more importantly the profit margin and how long it's gonna be until they come back. Now a woman under the age of 35, she's gonna buy 2. And odds are in 25 days, the average woman's gonna come back and buy half another bra. No, not buying half a bra, but the point is that the numbers overall. So that lets you understand, what does my customer want? And so you can start to do offer construction around the typical customer journey to figure out what kind of bundles you want to run during Black Friday. So what we did that in case was we did buy 3, get 1 free. And we also knew that because people were coming back and paying full price, they weren't price conscious. So then we offered like buy 3, get 1 free. And how about we do a $150 gift, $200 gift card for $150? Now we're taking that $100 LTV, we're making it like $200, $250. When we do a membership program like what Ben is doing at True Classic, we can make that a $300 purchase because we're understanding what the customer wants. Now that took us with extreme Excel nerdery, stuff that like if we had just done maybe a quiz, we would have found out a lot sooner.
Yeah, I think we're all saying the same thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
we need to speak to customers in a much more, I would say, tailored way. Like, the days of just like saying 70% off, deep discounting is just not gonna work, unless you really wanna dip into your margins. Like, that's fine. I think there's more creative ways to do that, and if you have access to data to understand what they want, right? So often we tell our customers what they want. We said, congratulations, you get a bundle, right? Maybe that's not, with a specific SKU. And we don't really look at the data to recognize whether or not that's exactly what they want, right? And I think to both points, right, whether it be survey or just analyzing specific cohorts of people that might buy more frequently than others, you have to tap into that. And then you have to listen, and then you have to get creative as to what those offers are. Do whatever you possibly can to not dip into your margins. Maybe it's an inventory play, like I said, during Black Friday. Figure that out. But I think the days of deep discounting, okay, let me take it back. I'm really worried about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and what that looks like in the space, because I look at Labor Day and I go, okay, how deep are they discounting? And then is it going to be a precursor to what's going to happen during Black Friday?
Show of hands, how many of you guys think is going to be the biggest Black Friday you guys have experienced for your brand? Show of hands. How many think it's going to be good but not incredible? How many of you guys are a little bit nervous for it? Nobody's, okay, 2. Okay, why are you a little nervous for it? Hey Zoe, can I borrow one of these? Why are you nervous?
I mean, I think it's going to be our biggest Black Friday ever, but I'm
That's not what?
I'm nervous about that. That's scary.
Like, more excitement?
That's scary. I mean,
that doesn't help me.
But you
I'm
guys are
sorry.
going to wreck. I know you're going to
Andrew-
wreck.
Okay, but you're nervous
Like,
because
what?
you're at a, you're
Hey,
nervous.
wait, can we define what that
talking about?
means?
Stop. You're nervous because of, there's too much excitement.
I mean,
potential.
like, if our website breaks at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, we could miss out on like significant revenue. Like, that's scary.
Okay, who has that fear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody else has that fear? Okay.
Or like ad account gets disabled randomly. I mean, that shit happens all the time.
But in terms of the performance of the offer that you're choosing, you don't feel.
I'm not worried about that. We've been testing into that all year long. I mean,
What do you mean you've been testing it all year? What does that mean?
Cookware is a very like tentpole sales driven moment. So like we are like the offer that we roll out for our acquisition offers that we roll out for Black Friday will be like the top 3 offers that we've ran all year leading up to it. The retention offers, we've been splitting up our retention segments into 2 to 4 segments for the last 3 sales, keeping those segments siloed the entire sale, looking at a contribution margin per recipient at the end of every single sale. Like our website, collection page, product pages, like we've been CROing it every single sale. Like
Cool.
we're gonna be super dialed by the time we roll around to Black Friday.
So he's nervous on what it should be potentially. Anybody nervous on like why it wouldn't? Throw it back to the gentleman behind you.
Yeah, so we've been looking at our year-over-year growth from non-sale period.
Can you share what? You don't have to share the brand, but maybe the
I'll
industry.
share the
you're in?
brand. Yeah, we're Iron Neck. It's a neck strengthening device. Our AOV is around 350.
Okay.
We are looking at our year-over-year growth rates during non-sale periods versus sale periods. Non-sale periods, our Shopify and Amazon growth rate is about like 30 to 40% year over year.
Okay.
But our sale periods is actually down. So we're about to go into the biggest sale of the year, fearing that we're going to see that as well for Black Friday. So
Taylor, right behind him. How are you feeling coming into this Q4?
So I think the trend that he's describing is actually interesting because a lot of brands are sitting on a much smaller set of new customer acquisition this year than they were in previous years. And so we would use the metaphor of like,
Some would say the sponges.
there you go, sponge is a little dry. Yeah, and so what that means is generally sale moments tend to be an extraction of value from your existing customers. And so it's all predicated on how much new customer acquisition you've had ahead of that moment. And so I think that's one of the things to consider is like, I would look at what we would call net active customers, so new plus returning plus non-lapse, like, and see how many you have ahead of Black Friday, Cyber Monday in comparison to last year. It'll give you a really strong indication of the future value of a moment when you're going to extract from that group. So.
And I think that's an exercise everybody getting. That's kind of what you were alluding to, of like, you have to dig into what was happening,
Yeah.
or else it's not going to matter what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been guilty of making bundles that look great on paper that nobody gave a shit about. Like, oh, I can get a pair of socks, 20 cents landed, charge $15 and mark it 20% off, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but you're selling socks too.
I mean, yeah, I mean, fair enough. I got Outweigh on, by the way. Shout out to them. Just whatever, it's nice, good people.